Happy Ending. A story about suffixes by Robin Pulver. Illustrated by Lynn Rowe Reed. Look, it's Mr. Right again. The school year was winding down. The days seemed endless. Mr. Wright's students were excited about summer vacation. Look at the endings, boys and girls. L-Y-N-G-S-E-S. And you'll notice as I read the story, the suffixes are in red, or they're bold throughout the story. Okay. The word endings were excited too. Mr. Wright had written them on the board. Their turn had come at last. Finally, after so much standing by and watching and waiting, 3 cheers for word endings, also known as suffixes. I was about to send out a reminder. We were kind of grumpy and grouchy. Now we're speechless with happiness. We're the happiest endings in the world. Mr. Wright announced, "This afternoon we'll be studying word endings or suffixes. Word endings are your friends. They help with tough words in reading. Being helpful makes me joyful." Mr. Wright saved the best for last, us. At that moment, every ending in the room was a happy ending. But the kids were in no mood for studying. "Mr. Wright, you must be kidding." "I'm not joking." The kids kept fussing. "We're already smarter than when school started. Why bother learning something new? We'd rather be cleaning out our desks. Suffixes sound suffocating. Don't worry, I won't break." "I know you kids are restless," said Mr. Wright. "Nevertheless, next year you'll be expected to know word endings. But right now it's time to be lining up for the cafeteria." The kids forgot everything they learned about school rules and good manners, and they butted and budged and pushed. Mr. Wright sent the rudest and noisiest kids to the end of the line. Being at the end is what you get for behaving badly. As the kids walked away, Mr. Wright reminded them, "After lunch and our read aloud, we'll tackle word endings." Watching and listening, the word endings were stunned. "They're going to tackle us? Yikes! What does Mr. Wright mean by tackling us? Why would they do that? We're not the enemy, and we're not playing football. Are we being punished? Is that why we're at the ends of the words? Of course not. We don't behave badly." Now every ending was a sad ending. We don't do anything wrong. All right, here are the word endings talking. It says the word ending slipped off the board and headed for the gym to work out. Here we go. Fitness might help, but it doesn't kindness win in the end? If Mr. Wright is serious about teaching the kids to tackle us, We should get in shape for tackling them back. It pays to be prepared. Right, they're bigger than we are. This situation is getting hairy. We're splitting. Meanwhile, in the cafeteria, the kids were acting up. They were throwing food, yelling, and goofing off. After lunch, their exasperated teacher announced, "We're skipping read aloud. We're going right into studying word endings." The kids protested. "But it's the last chapter of Ace Scooper Dog Detective." "You'll have to make up your own ending," said Mr. Wright. "It's time to tackle suffixes." He pointed at the board. Then he stared. "Good grief," he said. "This is the craziest year of my teaching life. No summer vacation until the word endings are found. Seriously." "Vacationless? We're doomed," groaned the kids. Suddenly, word endings were terribly important. The kids wanted them back. Where did the endings go? Maybe they were kidnapped. Yeah, like the puppy in Ace Scooper, Dog Detective. We should be detectives and find them. We need clues. The kids got busy making and putting up posters. Want the bad guy who kidnapped our word end, aka suffix. If anybody has a clue, please tell Mr. Wright's class. Oh, it looks like the suffixes are missing from their poster. Meanwhile, in the gym, the suffixes were doing push-ups and pull-ups. They were running and jumping and bouncing and balancing. Finally, they felt stronger. They felt braver, too. They started back to the classroom. In the hall, they spotted the posters. "Hey, the kids are looking for us." And here are the kids' posters. And this one says, "Reward for find, suffix, help us learn is your reward." And down here, help us find suffix. Again, the suffixes are missing from their posters. The word endings decided to hide and make up clues. This was their big chance to go first. Okay, and these say, "I'm hid in the est messy desk. Ye yuck, old et chew gum, dirt, tissue." Oh my goodness, the suffixes are first in the notes, the clues that they're leaving them. Now all the word endings were hopeful endings. They hoped the kids would find them. They hoped they wouldn't be tackled after all. The kids found the clues in plain sight. At first, they were impossible to read, but finally, aha, we figured it out. The endings come first in these mixed up words. If we move them to the end where they belong, we can read the clues. Okay, so ing to the end of clean is cleaning. Okay, and here's all the clues. Thanks to these clues, the kids exclaimed, "We don't have to search endlessly." They talked Mr. Wright into letting them clean out their desks. "Thank goodness we found you. Thank goodness this day is nearly over." Mr. Wright smiled and opened Ace Scooper Dog Detective to the last chapter. When he started to read, the kids settled down and listened. Thank goodness the puppy is safe. He's free at last, and so are we. When Mr. Wright announced the end, everyone rejoiced. Finally, summer vacation stretched ahead, promising days of endless fun. Okay, and here we have end of year report cards, class assignments for next year. Mrs. Edinger. Every ending leads to a new beginning. Look, she is us. Edinger. The end. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this story and learned a little bit about suffixes.